Today with Best Friends Los Angeles, we're working on dog-dog introductions. Very often you're going to be doing a dog introduction on leash. You have to be patient, you have to take your time. A lot of times you need to start with a parallel walk, which means starting at a distance at which the dogs are comfortable and slowly decreasing that distance until the dogs are able to greet comfortably and politely. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes the dogs are too stressed, too excited, it's not the right match, the personalities don't work, and so you just have to be patient and understand that sometimes you're just going to have to take a break and try again another day. Today we're going to show with these guys a way that you can do an on-leash introduction in maybe more of like a yard type space. So we're starting them off at a distance where they can look at each other comfortably and not react. And we're going to walk around each other, maybe in circles, and so that they can work up to greeting each other from behind. If one of the dogs starts to get more excited, we'll give a little more distance and space until they're able to come up and sniff from behind appropriately. We're giving the dogs agency to do what they want to do. If Satellite wants to walk over and sniff something else, check something else out, we're going to let him do that because maybe he might not be comfortable to greet Alex yet. Oh, good job. Good job. So we're trying to avoid face-to-face introductions. Some dogs don't do well with that and they might get snappy. So we always want to try and see if they can greet in a nice curve indirectly from behind. And then they can trade places and Satellite can sniff Alex from behind. And it's okay, we want to try and keep the leashes loose, let them move around each other. And you want to communicate with the other person. If you don't feel comfortable, don't let the dogs get closer. In addition to on-leash introductions, you can also use a barrier to introduce. So this way you've got a little extra element of safety. You can also always train a dog to use a basket muzzle as well. That's another element of safety you can use if you're not too sure how the dogs are going to do. So both of the dogs are pretty relaxed. They're not fixated on each other. They're not staring. They're moving around. So I would feel comfortable at this point letting Alex come out and greet. Satellite's still kind of doing his own thing. Good job. Good job. Good job. So they're dancing. They're getting wiggly. They've sniffed each other. They're displaying relaxed body language. No one's avoiding each other, but they're not obsessed either. So at this point, we would probably feel comfortable dropping the leashes and letting them interact. We'll still have the leashes on just in case, but if they start playing a lot and it's going really well, we'll take them off so they don't get tangled. We're leaving drag lines on the dogs, which means we're leaving leashes on so that we can intervene and step on them without putting hands on our dog, so we can make sure that if they get too excited, we're slowing that play down and making sure they take a break. We don't want them to get too over-aroused. Both dogs were doing really nice bows, moving around a lot, but Alex was getting pretty excited. He was all over Satellite. He might have been getting a little overwhelmed. So we're distracting them, calling them away, encouraging them to take breaks. Not all dogs know how to regulate their own play and take breaks, and they can get overexcited. So if we notice that they're getting really aroused, we want to encourage them to take breaks. You always want to monitor, observe, stay in communication with your dogs. Your dog should never be off leash with another dog until your dog's able to have some kind of recall, because you want to be able to call them away if things get a little too intense. Play needs to be mutual. If one of the dogs isn't enjoying it, you need to intervene. Right now it seems like what Satellite wants to do is play run and chase. He doesn't want to be jumped on or mounted or experience he's not ready to be mouthed and chew on and have rough play. So we have to advocate for him and intervene so that we don't let Alex just bully him and play too rough. Dogs should be able to communicate with each other and let each other know, hey, that was too much, and for the other dog to listen and say, yep, you're right, I'm gonna take a break. This is the first time they've played off leash, and so they are learning how to communicate. Oh my goodness. Good boy, Satellite. Good boy. Keep an eye on the dogs, especially when it's hot and they're playing really hard. You don't want them to get overtired. It can be a little bit like little kids. They can play, everything's going great, and then someone starts to get tired and cranky and they don't want to stop playing, but they're getting a little more sensitive. So you have to monitor their energy level, how they're feeling, and end play before anyone gets too tired and worn out. It's better to keep it short and sweet than have something go wrong and have a disagreement or an altercation. And we can always end with a nice walk together, staying calm, and make sure you always end on a good note. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and have fun.